This is Columbia Morning with David Lyle on News Talk 1400 KFRU.
I have a question that I've never asked of a guest, and I'm going to ask that right now after I introduce him from Memorial Baptist Church, Randy Schilb. It's nice to see you. How are you?
Good morning, David. Great.
What is your best guess as to the number of college students that may have gone to church either in this town or across the country yesterday?
The number yesterday in this town, I'm gonna estimate
percentage-wise
out of Mizzou and the three campuses we have here. I'm gonna guess maybe 5%.
Whoa! I would guess that's probably right because I'm just thinking of my experience. How many do you see at the Memorial Baptist Church?
Oh, I would guess we'll have 20, 30.
That's pretty good. Better than a lot of churches bringing them in. My question was that because I think you have an interest and a heart for that.
I really do. I've been a youth pastor since I was 16 years old.
What conspires against keeping late teenagers and late high schoolers and college kids from participating in organized religion?
You know, it's interesting. I think we see a drop-off when kids get to be around 17, 18, 19 years old. And there's a lot of factors that contribute to that. Some of the factors include just primarily going away from the high school scene, graduating, going to the military, going to college, moving away from home, moving away from family. So we see those things are factors that assist kids in remaining in church. Those are some of those factors taken away, kids drop away.
What does church not, and I'm speaking in the broad term of church, in your opinion, what does church not do well that would perhaps entice the curious to stay with it of that age?
I think that it's not necessarily just what the church doesn't do well. I think there's things that the church needs to do better. I read one article about if churches just as youth groups take 4 years to serve kids pizza, that's not going to hold them very well once they get graduated from high school. The key, I think, for kids is to give them meat to eat rather than pizza.
I'm curious your reaction to this. It is a searching time. I can remember 17 and 18 and maybe going off to college. If you have in a church people who would foster the search rather than to feed the answers, I think that might help. Would it or would it not? Am I wrong on that?
No, I think students of this era are not looking just for easy answers. They're looking for answers to the real questions of their lives, and I think the church has to address those real questions with real answers rather than just, as I say, pizza parties.
Yeah, but I think you have a fine line to tread. I love this kind of discussion. If you want me to shut up and just get to what we really are going to mention here in a second. I think there's a fine line to tread between providing those answers to life's difficult questions and letting people discover the answer as it will apply to their life. I understand there are core answers. I understand there are core precepts that a Christian church wants its members to abide by.
Sure.
But I think for college students as they become, and late high school students as they get through that stage of seeking independence, having some independence, that they need to independently figh out what's right in their religious path too, if they're going to pursue it.
What happens? Kids have to, by the point they graduate from high school, they can't just have their parents' religion. They have to incorporate it. They have to own their faith rather than borrowing it from their parents. And I think that's where things of service for kids to actually be getting out of high school and serving other people for Christ, having kids get out of high school and get to where they believe in the depths of their heart rather than just borrowing it from their parents.
I would agree with that also. Randy Schilb is our guest. He's a pastor at Memorial Baptist Church, working with young people there and others and the music there. I've appreciated your energy and your enthusiasm for this. Many churches have experimented with different times for worship services, different tones of worship services. I've seen at least one article or so saying that even young people say, don't try to attract me with that. But I think there are some who say that is attracting me. So what's the answer? Is it a variety and then let people know that there's going to be something for whatever taste they have?
I think there's several things, rather than just don't try to just attract me with catchy music, great bands, good cover bands that a lot of churches, including my own, use those. That's not an uncommon activity. But I think one of the things that is key for the students when they get out of high school is to be involved with things in their church. And that's one of the things, the scholarship area we were talking about.
Let's talk about that in just a second. You want to finish your thought, and then I'll bring up some details about that.
I think having a place of involvement where you can feel like I've got a place here. I'm involved. I have investiture in not just the church, but in my relationship with God. And I think through the church, if you're invested, that you're going to be that you're not going to be that falling away percentages.
I'll get to the scholarship in a second. I'm going to follow up on something you said, though. What we started with was your best thought of the percentage of college students who may have been in a church sometime over the weekend. And you said maybe 5% here locally. What does experience tell you about those who will come back if they were brought up in a church, fall away, then when they get to a certain stage of their career or family life, they come back? Some do.
You've hit on something there, David, that it's really popular to say that we're losing the generation of kids who are graduating now. We're losing them by 80, 90%. Some of that's true, but what we, in those percentages and those statistics, it doesn't say a lot of those students do come back to the church later on in life, many times because of stability, being married, having children, looking around saying they're maybe looking for more in life than just how big a paycheck I can get.
Are some denominations or non-denominations doing better than others at reaching college-age kids?
I think you'll see some very large contemporary churches, which we have some in town here in Columbia that are great churches that do a really good job of reaching that age demographic. For what reasons, I can't answer that. I'm not at those churches, but I do know that some of them do a really great job. Some churches do absolutely nothing because they don't have resources or vision in that direction.
There are some who would share a concern that we would like to try to reach college kids. And so it's an anonymous foundation that has set up something named after you, the Randy Schilb Choir Scholarship.
That's right. I've been here at Memorial Baptist in the middle of my 37th year now here.
That's a long time. Especially when you've got Baptist as a name of the church.
Yeah, that make it pretty tough.
I can say that as a former Baptist.
That's
because
right.
Baptists don't keep people that long.
Not so long. I've invested in the church quite a lot. And so this is actually my first full-time job. And
my goodness, you're still with your first full-time job.
Yeah, out of college.
37 years.
Yeah.
That's terrific. So it's a great honor, I think, to have this named after you. And this is going to be what this foundation has said will provide $8,000 for two $4,000 scholarships beginning this coming fall.
It's interesting what's going on at our church. We established this scholarship fund through the Missouri Baptist Foundation to make a pool of money to give scholarships to students who are coming to Columbia, Baptist students coming to Columbia, in order to encourage them to be active in church through singing in our choir. As we're doing that, we had another foundation that said, we believe in what you're doing. It thinks that's a great idea. And they have provided two $4,000 renewable scholarships for 4 years for a Baptist student who's going to come to Columbia and will just simply sing in our choir.
Mm-hmm. It's a good way to get talented singers, but it also hopefully will show that church still is relevant in a college student's life.
It is.
Because, it doesn't matter what denomination your background is from. They fall away during that time period. Baptists, Catholics.
That's right.
Name a denomination.
They do. So the purpose of this scholarship is to encourage kids to stay in church. And you find if there's a reason, like singing in choir, that you build relationships with people, you see the value of the worship, and you stay involved in church.
I think it's an honor for you to have this named after you. So I wanted to say congratulations on your enduring energy and enduring enthusiasm for what you're doing and reaching kids. I would say to those who would say, well, I don't have anybody that's going to give an anonymous check for $8,000 that I could use to, I think that you don't have to have money all the time. I think what you have to have is interest in young people sometimes, and engage them, encourage them to become a part someplace.
One of the parts of this scholarship is this going to be required. We're going to be having, for these 2 students that receive the scholarship, we're going to be having mentors that build relationships, that mentor them through this 4-year college process, so that it's not just, oh, you come sing and sing in our choir. It is, we're going to have someone that'll be mentoring with you, helping you grow, helping you deal with the problems you face when you're at college, whether you're at Mizzou or Stevens or Columbia College.
Cool. Pick up a headset there. We're going to get a comment real quick here. It may be loud. Follow the cord and turn it down. George Young sits there, and I think he has it louder than a lot of people's comfort level. Caller, did you want to make a comment on the topic today? Good morning.
Good morning. Is that me?
Yes, it is.
Hey, good morning, Randy. This is Emmanuel. I really enjoyed the music of last Sunday. More grease to your elbow. Keep up with that.
Thank you, man.
I got a tape of it after the service.
Thank you
Good
very
job,
much.
Randy.
Right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate the call. All right. You got music coming up this coming week too, right?
Yes, matter of fact, I talked about working with teenagers. We have our choir musical that we do, an annual dinner theater, and it's at 6 o'clock this coming Sunday night, where we have about 25 kids in a youth choir, which is probably one of the rarities in town, that are going to present a musical and that deals with the things high school students deal with in life, real issues.
That's at Memorial Baptist Church. Find out more from the church, and find out more from the church if you have a Baptist. We got the same reputation as churches do as a KFRU talk show, is that only old people listen to us. I don't think that's totally true, but if you are an old person who knows a college-age student who is coming to the University of Missouri or Stevens College or Columbia College and would like to inquire about this scholarship, then contact Memorial Baptist.
That's exactly right.
Randy, 37 years. Way to go.
Working on it.
Randy Schilb has been our guest.